San Diego. I'd say it's somewhat tongue-in-cheek, chilly San Diego, but we San Diegans are sincerely freezing our tails off. And welcome to San Diego, and depending on how you count it, the second or third largest life science cluster in the country. The companies and research institutions here make up about a third of our regional economy, together generating almost 220,000 jobs. These numbers will only get bigger because, bigger and more significant, because San Diego's future economic growth will be driven by our ideas and our innovation economy. And the life sciences are a fundamental part of that. Our life sciences mean more to us than just our economic output. Their breakthrough work saves lives, helps protect our natural environment, and improves the human condition. Local pharmaceutical companies are helping to prevent and treat disease and improve the quality of life for people everywhere. And we're home to some of the most renowned medical research institutions in the world: Scripps, UCSD, Salk, the Sanford Consortium for Regenerative Medicine, the Sanford Burnham Institute, and the La Jolla Institute for Allergy and Immunology, among others. And our growing medical device companies are finding ways to reduce risks and costs in healthcare delivery. In fact, many of their products and innovations are key to bending the national healthcare cost curve. You know, too often Washington sees healthcare as an accounting problem where you have to lower reimbursements or raise fees and taxes in order to fill the gap. Today, though, outside the Beltway, inventors are finding new ways to deliver healthcare more cost efficiently and reliably. And in San Diego, we've seen particular success in the advancement of wireless medicine, or telehealth. We also have an emerging and exciting cluster of industrial biotech, a focus of this conference. And San Diego companies are creating cleaner, better renewable chemicals, products, and fuels that will help protect and improve our natural environment today and in the future. To name a few, Genomatica has partnered with some of the largest companies in the world to produce widely used chemicals from renewable feedstocks instead of petroleum. That's a way to reduce costs and carbon footprints. DSM has found a way to use enzymes to increase capacity and quality in food and beverage production. Verenium is creating a way to use enzymes to break down waste at landfills, for example, instead of using harsh chemical processes. And at the brand new Venter Institute, Dr. Craig Venter, who most of us know as a pioneer in the human genome, is also doing some trailblazing in synthetic genomics. He's working on a way to use microorganisms to produce renewable hydrogen fuel. I know he's speaking here tomorrow, and I know that will be a highlight. And finally, I'd call out the California Center for Algae Biotechnology, which opened at UCSD earlier this year. That's a partnership of several universities, as well as Sapphire Energy, Life Technologies, and some other local companies doing this work. And they know progress can be advanced as much by cooperation as by competition. The upshot of all this great work: last year, San Diego's industrial biotech and biofuels industry generated more than $2.6 billion in regional economic impact. The success of our biotechs and life science community as a whole are due in large part to the concentration of talent and resources we have here in San Diego County. It's also due to the cooperative, collaborative spirit, which is second nature to San Diegans, whereas in Washington, maybe not so much. That's one of the reasons, in fact, I ran for office, to change the culture of DC. I thought DC could use some of the San Diego approach that has made our region a center of world-class scientific discovery and innovation. And one of the ways I push this approach, I want you to know, is by listening to you and people like you who are out there making remarkable things happen. You and your representatives at Bio and at Biocom and all of your organizations have been instrumental in giving me examples and lessons about innovations in biotech that need our national support and cooperation. So with your help, I've been telling people in Washington, D.C. about our story about how innovation can and will change the world and drive our national economy and our security. As a member of the House Armed Services Committee, I know how important it is for our military to have a diverse and reliable energy supply. The Navy and Marines, they want to invest heavily in providing that supply. And advancements in algae biotechnology and other renewables should be a bigger part of America's energy portfolio in the years to come, not just because they keep the air and water cleaner, which they do, but also because as a nation we must continue to move toward more energy independence, security, and affordability. I recently restarted the Congressional Algae Caucus, and I serve as co-chair. My wife says this makes me an authentic pond scum politician, but I'm proud of it. Earlier this year, with the support of Bio and Biocon, I introduced the Renewable Chemicals Parity Act of 2013, which would treat renewable chemicals, biorefinery projects, and other bio-based programs more equally in the Farm Bill's energy title. I'm also supporting industrial biotech, algae, renewable chemicals, and R&D funding in particular, and I've supported this year and next year the Renewable Portfolio Standard, which we just heard about in the video. Been an outspoken advocate for basic science research funding at NIH, DARPA, ARPA-E, NSF, and elsewhere. And on the House floor and in front of the Appropriations Committee, I made it a point to argue for consistent and adequate funding for basic science research to support and advance our nation's continued leadership in science. And as a member of the Science Committee, I have and I will fight for legislation that supports what you do, not just because it's good for San Diego and for these companies, but also because it's good for our nation and the world. I'll continue to make these priorities my priorities, and for me to be successful, I need your continued tutoring, involvement, advice, and support. So far, no one's been shy about coming to me, and I hope you'll continue to do that. So I want to thank Biocom and my friend Joe Panetta in particular, and the Biotechnology Industry Organization for helping me learn a lot about this in my first year in Congress, and for inviting me to speak to you today. And I look forward to a continuing partnership in the years to come. So proud of what you're doing, of San Diego's role in it, and my ability to help in Washington, D.C. Wish you a successful conference and a great stay in our town, and I'll see you again next year at the Bio Conference. Thank you.